For the very best in music, information, entertainment, and education. Stay locked onto Unical Radio International, 103.5 FM.
I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
Bites and Malapresses, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, mummies and daddies, you're tuned into Unical 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. That was The Door by Teddy Swims. Like I promised earlier on the morning show, that today is the presidential debate for the upcoming SUG elections. I mean, this is something that a lot of people look forward to. During the morning show, we had a lot of calls, a lot of questions that people were asking, and I had to tell them that, listen, I'm not the one going for the position of the president, but when they come, they're going to answer all your questions. Well, good news is they're all here in the studio and they're ready to answer all the questions that you have for them this afternoon. My name is Vine Henshaw, but they call me Spice of the Airwaves, and I'm going to be moderating this debate right here on Unical 103.5 FM. I'm going to go on a very short music break. When I come back, I'm going to unveil the aspirants that we have in the studio this afternoon. Do not move away from your radio set. It's Unical 103.5 FM. Time check is 10 minutes past the hour of 12, and it's still Unical 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment. 360, we love to call it a do infotainment. Like I said before the break, I have the presidential aspirants for the 2026 SUG elections right here in the University of Calabar, and they're in the studio and ready to have a conversation with us. First on my list, I have Ebong Verdina Francis from the Faculty of Social Science, Department of Political Science. A very good afternoon, Mr. Ebong Verdina Francis, and welcome to Unical 103.5 FM. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much. I feel excited being here
That
today.
tone is not giving presidential. Is too low. Let's take it up a little bit. Now let me ask
Okay,
the question again. How
okay,
are you feeling this afternoon?
okay, fine. I'm doing well.
Uh,
And how are you doing too?
I'm very well, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All right, still in the studio we have. I please forgive me if I'm not able to pronounce the names traditionally or indigenously. So we have Enyo Fem Eta from the Faculty of Computing, Department of Computer Science. A very good afternoon and welcome to Unico 103.5 FM. How are you feeling?
Feeling great?
Did I pronounce the name correctly?
Yes.
Ah, I give myself 5 star.
Really?
All right. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And lastly, again, I apologize if I'm not able to pronounce the name indigenously. So I have Ibianga Godswill Okom from the Faculty of Social Science, Department of Economics in the studio this afternoon. Welcome to Unico 103.5 FM. How are you feeling?
Well, good morning. I feel great and excited to be here.
Did I pronounce the name right?
No, you didn't. It's actually Ibinga Godswill
Ibingo.
Ibinga.
Ibinga.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, amazing, amazing. Well, thank you guys for joining me this afternoon in the studio. Now, it's no news that the presidential election or the general SCG election, is coming up very shortly, and there's been a lot of rampage, there's been a lot of noise, a lot of campaigning ongoing, and people have been talking, people have been asking questions. Who are the people that are going to be contesting? Who are the people that are going to represent the students? At the SCG level, and they've been dying, they've been itching to actually know the faces and the voices behind the whole campaign. And thank God that we have you guys in the studio this afternoon. Now let me start by asking, every ambition has its source, every ambition has its reason. There's always a why to every decision, every aspiration, every dream that everyone dares to dream. Now let me ask all of you this question. Now, what made you nurture this idea of wanting to contest for the position of the president of the Federal Republic of Malabo? What gave you that inspiration? What gave you that ginger to want to represent the students at the student union government level? Let me start with you, Goswell.
Okay. Good morning once again. My name is
It's actually afternoon.
Senator. Good afternoon once
Mm.
again. My name is Senator Godswill Yeah, I'm a 300 level student in the Department of Economics. Well, firstly for starters, I would say I have the ginger already. So that's it. What gave me the ginger? I have the ginger already.
Okay.
Then secondly, I have the passion and drive to lead students, and I actually have a vision to build a campus where students are actually empowered both academically, socially, and economically, and
Mm.
where every student in the institution has a voice.
Mm.
So that's it.
Okay, amazing. That's fair enough. How about you, Vladina Francis? What gave you this inspiration to nurture the idea of wanting to vie for the position of the president of the Federal Republic of Malabo?
Okay, the driving force was passion for leadership.
Mm.
I actually love leadership positions, and then I have this passion for leadership.
Okay.
So that was like the driving force behind it. And then equally like service to humanity, especially in this context. Now we're talking of service to Malabites and Malabreses,
Mm.
both the ones that live in campus and the ones that stay off campus. So those kind of services that you render to them from the leadership position, that was what gave me the driving force.
Okay, amazing. How about you, Etta? What gave you the driving force to want to, contest as the president of the Federal Republic of Malabo?
Yeah, first I would say I'm a passionate leader, and then I'm also a servant leader actually. I'm passionate about serving students and, of course, bring inputs to the campus. I believe leadership is built on integrity, accountability, transparency, and, of course, refereeism.
Mm. All right, you've heard it from the candidates, right? They've told us about the reason why they intended to contest for the position of the president of the Federal Republic of Malabo. Like I said, every dream, every ambition, every decision is influenced by something, and they've shared with us what influenced their decision to want to contest for the president of the Federal Republic of Malabo before I come and see Nigeria. Anyway, we're going on a very short break now. When we come back, we're still having this conversation right here on Unical 103.5 FM. I'll leave in the hands of Alex Warren. This one says, Ordinary. Do not move away from a radio set. We'll be back before you know it. Still the SUG presidential debate right here on Unical 123.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. And I urge you to stay very close to your phones because very soon we'll be opening the phone lines and you get to ask the aspirants the questions of your choice. Now, let's get into the debate proper. Now, starting with you, for Dina Francis, what is the one thing that you want to change about students' life at the University of Calabar, and what is your exact step-by-step plan for achieving it within your tenure? No slogans, no long explanations, just a clear process you will follow from day one. Ask me if you want me to repeat the question, and I will
No,
repeat
I
it.
got the question.
Okay.
Okay, so I won't say change. I will only say spice it up.
Okay.
That's like for me the student welfareism.
Mm.
Yeah, the current administration, they are doing very well in the student welfareism. So I only want to like add up to what the current administration is doing. That's the Obo Ekpeyon led administration. He's
Mm.
doing very, very well. So I feel I will follow that same footprint in stepping up his a game, like in working on student welfareism. When we talk of like students shuttle ride, deadline registration for like school fees and the rest, all those cost registration and the rest, just like spicing up things like that. So I don't really say I'm starting up something new. I only say I'm continuing like the good works he started.
Mm. Amazing. How about you, Ata? What is the one thing you want to change about students' lives at the University of Calabar, and what is your exact step-by-step plan for achieving it within your tenure as president, assuming you win?
Well, thank you so much. If there should be anything that needs to be done here in the campus, should be focused on student welfareism as well, and of course, the the current government are actually doing fine. So, like my fellow aspirant of this is just to add to it to what they've done already. Let's say in the areas of hygiene, make sure you take reports to the management and see how the management can fix up some damaged toilets. And as well, you should learn how to work with the governor general to fix some, um, should I say, some things that are bad. For example, they have pressing irons. So during my regime, and this is my one thing I want to do, I will make sure they get extra laundry bay to extend the laundry bay, and as well the laundry ropes, extra laundry ropes, increase the laundry bay as well, and then put in permanent pressing iron, of which all students, all Malabites and Malabrites can make use of. Also, there will be a table tennis there in all the halls there in Malabo, and as well the first aid box will be provided for all the halls there in Malabo as well. And I will also work with the director of information in order to enhance communication and the republished Radio Malabo to synergize both the mass communication and the theater art students to enhance communication, because you need to be informed in order for you to perform. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Ata. Moving over to you, Godswill. What is the one thing you want to change about students' life at the University of Calabar, and what is your exact step-by-step plan for achieving it within your tenure as president?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Firstly, I'll say the present administration, they've actually done their best. So far, so good, but definitely I will do better than them. That's what I say. I'll do better than them. I repeat again, because definitely I'm seeing how to put in emergency response in with all halls and all faculties, because that's what the present administration lack. A lot of complaints are coming from students, and secondly, I'm going to have a liaison meetings with the faculties, the department, and even as much as the unit to enhance a broader communication with the student. And when you go to Malabo, you see a lot of duplicated bunks, then definitely there will be repairs of those bunks and replacement either. If you walk through the walkway of Malabo, they have not been light for about 4 years now. So definitely there will be light there, and the student of Malabo does not have Wi-Fi. So those are one of some of the things I'm going to put in place for the students of Nigeria at large and Malabo. And now you come to main camp, to my faculty at large. The open pavilion is actually open and duplicated at the moment. So definitely it's gonna be worked, fixed, and lightning there for students to read. Most especially, a lot of students suffer during night class. Like if you go to PAV 1, there's no light at night class, the bulbs all are bad. So definitely those things are going to be fixed. And now we are looking at building an administration where student voices can actually be heard, because a lot of students are actually derailed, a lot of students are deprived, and a lot of students are depressed. So we are looking at a foundation where we can actually incorporate every student together.
Mm.
Firstly, by actually doing the social aspect by communicating, as I earlier stated, the faculty, the departments, and the unit. Then, secondly, we incorporate them on solemn assembly, sensitization. A leader that is seen is a leader that is known. So, definitely, when the students see you, they know you. And all those things I just mentioned definitely be put in place.
Mm.
And again, when you come to the Malabo, you see the water. A lot of students drink the water from the Malabo tank, and it's not usually washed. So definitely, we have a perfect hygiene for them. The tanks will be washed on a regular. And if you check the environment of Malabo, it's actually very dirty and duplicated. Like in the previous week, I actually joined them in working there. I saw the bad stings and the dirt all around. So definitely, if by the special grace of God I emerge, those things will actually be looked into. And in the previous week, I did a transport subsidy, because definitely I don't want to promise a great student of Nigeria what I cannot do. So I did transport subsidy. That's to ensure them that definitely when I come into office, then the transport will be reduced and subsidized for the betterment of them and for the easy transportation of the student to and fro. And there'll be increments of the student mini buses that's to actually go to the route of the Malabo, because if you check critically, the route to Malabo is about a 2.5 kilometer, while the route to the library is about a 2 kilometer. So the shuttle drivers don't like taking the route of the hostel because the thing is too lengthy for
Mm.
them. Yeah, there are a few buses going that way. So definitely the mini bus that was actually bought by the then administration of Blessing Alliance was meant for those purposes, for students to the hostel actually. So
Okay.
definitely there'll be increment of those buses, if not 10, then 5. At
Mm.
least to the extent we can actually to at least each student journey to Malabo, because you see they drop student at college and they walk from there to Malabo, or they
Mm.
drop them at the management area and they walk down to Malabo. So definitely those provision will be done for students. Thank you.
Amazing. That sounds like a whole lot of calculated plans. Well, we are opening the phone lines now. 0809 4444 058. I'll take that again. 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Call us up and you can ask your the aspirants any question of your choice. If you're curious about something or if you want clarity about something, you can call us up this afternoon. 0809 4444 058. I'll take that again, 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Now, Goswell, like I said, that sounds like a very calculated, very well put together plan. However, there are no specific timeline to this plans. Now, let me ask you this: what deliverables can students hold you accountable for in your first 100 days in office?
Definitely, student can actually hold me accountable first 100 days in office if there is no emergency response in hostel, because till date there are still a lot of complaints in the hostel. Firstly, what I mean by emergency response, if there are no first aids in the hostel, or a lot of students in campus have been molested. Let's take example from the nursing students, even down to my faculty. And I think those students need a voice. So definitely the students are going to have a leader that is speaking for them, a leader that has come through for them. Then definitely the first 100 days of days in office, those project I just stated earlier, that the cleaning of the Malabo tanks, the water tanks in Malabo, then the sanitation. Definitely the first 100 days will be known for a clean administration, an administration that are actually taking a lot of projects, because definitely first 100 days in office is mostly what a lot of politicians actually see as the biggest days in office,
Mm.
because that's where your achievements start. That's where you know if your administration is going to start well or it's not going to start well. So definitely those projects are going to be executed, because the lightning in Malabo will be a done deal in the 100 days in office, and the free Wi-Fi will also be a done deal in the 100 days in office as we look further in doing more.
Mm.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Gosfield. Moving over to you, Eta, but do well to call us up 0809 4444 058. I'll take it again 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Now, Eta, You can agree with me that more often than not, when political leaders or leaders generally are elected into power, their followers, so to say, always struggle with accessibility. All of a sudden, they are not accessible to the people that they are there to lead. They're not accessible to the people that they are there to represent. Now, how would you foster students and leaders engagement? But before you answer that question, let's take this call. Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, Mr. Casey.
Yeah, Vargas. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Casey, I can hear you. Good
I can
afternoon.
hear myself.
Just ask your question, Mr. Okay, 0809 Mr. Casey, please do well to call us back. 0809 I'll take it again. 0809 Okay. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Talk to me.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Casey, I can hear you. Talk
I
to me.
can hear myself. I can hear you.
Okay, we're going to have that sorted. But before then, Etta was asking the question: how are you going to ensure that the people that you are there to represent, the people that you are there to lead, have access to you all the time, not having to hide behind committees and all of that. They have direct access to you as their leader.
Okay, thank you so much for that wonderful question. Well, I must say my governance is all about accessibility. I think if there should be any true servants, we should focus more on assets because the student needs to see you, the student needs to communicate with you. Um, Without going further, I will bring back or renovate the information bureau system. All those board we have, I'll make sure I innovate them so that students can contact me directly and my phone numbers will be there for direct contact access.
All right. Okay, let's take this call. Hello. 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 Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Princess. Good afternoon.
Okay, Princess, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Calabar,
Okay, where in Calabar are you calling from?
Mount Zion.
All right, talk to us, Princess.
All right, my question goes to the presidential aspirants, and the question is, how will you promote unity among students?
All right, thank you very much, Princess, for calling. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Now, Princess is asking, do you plan to promote unity amongst students? Let me start with you, Gospel. How do you intend to promote unity among students?
Firstly, I'll say thank you. And that's one thing that's actually in my agenda, because definitely, the government is not going to be a government. It's not going to be a tribal government. Definitely, it's not a government that is going to actually differentiate students due to their religion or their tribal communities and their environment they come from. So definitely, all students are going to be carried along. Firstly, by harmonizing them, bringing them together. You know, there's always a saying that say, when you build a man, you build a nation and you build a company. So definitely, if every student is being empowered from each tribe, then definitely they will not see any chance of feeling marginalized. Because if an Hausa man is saying, a Cosiverian actually benefited because I'm a Cosiverian, say Cosiverian benefited from this so and so project, and Hausa man should also say, I also benefited. A Yoruba student should also say, I also benefited. So definitely, if we are doing the scholarship scheme for students, definitely is going to cut across all the region and the tribes we have. Definitely, we are not going to marginalize any student, and those things are actually going to harmonize peace, because I think a lot of things that actually divides students in the University of Calabar is a lot of tribal bigots, due to the fact that a so and so tribe, sorry, permit me to use this word, so and so tribe will say the office, mostly the class coordinators, the governors, even though they have bound class reps, they are not class rep, but the governors, the coordinators will more or less say this office is actually meant for us. So definitely we are going to make room for, so subsequent time stuff like that should not take place. Even office of the spirit heads and the departmental president, at least it should be shared. That's not looking at the faculty president or the student union government president, because those are actually conventional and in most faculties actually constitutional, made for the indigent. But while the departmental and the unit heads with the class governors and the class coordinators should be shared frequently, it's actually going to synchronize and give unity to the student body at large, and will ensure that happened.
All right, thank you very much for that one. I hope Godsu has been able to answer your question, Princess. Keep it coming, 0809 I'll take that again, 0809 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Now, moving on to you, Vladina Francis, what is your plan for ensuring that SCG projects are transparent and students are able to access this project very freely? But before then, let's take this call. Hello. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
good day.
Good afternoon. What is your name and where you're
Good
calling us from?
afternoon. My name is Christopher. I'm calling from you and the Black Chemistry Department.
Okay, Christopher, talk to us.
Yes. My question is to a body
Okay.
footage. I want to ask, what legacy would they leave behind after his tenure?
Okay, Christopher, thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, actually, the bar have been raised very high by the current administration. So it will take someone to do like extremely good for it to like go to exceed the level that has been set already. So if you're talking of legacy, that means the person needs to put in the next SCG president needs to put in enough effort in his or her administration, because when I mean effort, like starting from the welfareism of students and all that, like you really the next SCG president really need to put in a lot of work. So as for me, the legacies that I want to leave behind, I really want to be known for a workaholic SCG president, like a president that was like that is loved by his students, not just like being a president for president's sake. I really want to be a president after the Malabite and Malabresis hat. And that for me, I feel would be a good legacy whereby you always be remembered for being truly loved by the people you are serving.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that he has been able to answer your question, Christopher. Okay, we have a text message. This one says, "Will he do a happy hour?" I think that goes to all of you. Would you do happy hour in your tenure as president?
Happy
Yes.
happy
I don't know what he means by happy hour, but there's the text message that says, "Will he do happy hour?" So, will
Okay.
you do happy hour as president of the Federal Republic of Malabo?
I think that's Happy Friday.
I
That's
was
Happy Friday.
thinking that question is actually will he do, not will they do.
Will they? All of you.
It's
Would
will
you
they.
all do happy hour?
If we are talking of happy hour in this contest, then I think the angle I would drive it to is the maybe I'll call it free shuttle happy hour, whereby 1 hour, let me say from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, to encourage people to come to school early.
Well, happy hour can mean anything for
Yeah,
anyone.
but within that range, Malabite and Malabres might just be entitled to free shuttle within that range of time. So I feel that would be like an happy hour.
Fair enough. How about you, Eta? What will be your own happy hour?
Okay, I think Happy Hour should be okay. I think Happy Hour should be bringing back this unity in terms of sports for the boys, in terms of sport, and then for the girls, all those
What do you
midnight
mean
parties.
in terms of boys?
No, I mean
for
for guys, sports will
Sports is a
unite them
general
back.
thing.
Okay.
Both women and men do sports.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So sports first of all, and then fun. All those midnight parties, all those you organize with director of social. So
Midnight parties.
midnight parties, yes. Evening parties.
Is that allowed in the University of Calabar?
It's not like the one you're thinking. I'm thinking of all those events being planned by the director of social for external bodies to come in. I think students love that most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Gosu? What would be your own happy hour?
Well, there's a saying that say all work no play make Jack a dull boy, and the same play no work still make the same Jack a dull boy. So definitely, I am a Christian and one who love God so much. So definitely, I am in my own person. I feel my happy hour is spending time with God. So definitely, if Malabites and Malabres can actually come out and serve God, then we are going to actually organize stuffs in open path. Open path, yeah, where Malabite can come. It's more like a praise night. You know, when you're dancing, praising God, it's an happy hour. So definitely that will be done.
All right, keep it coming. 0809 4444 058. I'll take that again. 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. So I was asking the question, Francis. It's very important that students are being carried along when it comes to SCG projects. Sometimes you hear, okay, there's an SCG project. Okay, let's take this call before I ask that question. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Chinonso, and I'm calling from the Republic.
Okay, Chinonso, talk to us.
Okay. My question is actually to Senator Vodina. Yes, voltage.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I've noticed that the academic spirit of our students are going down by the day because of certain challenges, other things. So, how would you want to bring back that spirit of the academic spirit of students? How do you want students to go back to their books to actively engage in academic activities again? How do you want to do that? So that's my question.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. To enjoy the rest of your day. So, how do you intend to revive the academic spirit in Malabites and Malabresses?
Okay, actually, he's right. The academic spirit to some extent has really gone down because back then, if you watch TV programs, you see programs like Carbopedia, whereby bright students will be brought out and then they will be asked questions and then you're required to give the answers instantaneously. But if you look now, like now in our current, like, I won't say generation or regime or what, that spirit has kind of gone down. We rarely have such programs. So I think bringing up such competitions whereby students can partake in, like, at least to know them, to make them feel, oh, we really need to work hard, whereby you know that, oh, if you work hard, there's a reward. Because for instance, those Carbopedia, everything, if you come first, you're entitled to a scholarship, a cash prize, and other minor incentives that tag along. So if we encourage those kind of healthy competitions, I feel it will really go a long way.
All right, amazing. I have a question here, and this question is directed to you, Etta. And the question says, what will they do, or what would you do about lecturers molesting students? Because honestly, people are dying in silence. We can't even report the cases because we don't have listening ears. So, what are you going to do about the cases of sexual molestation and harassment on campus?
Okay, thank you so much. If I if I should have issues like that during my administration, then it will be a time for me to show out myself. You know, there's a saying that leadership is tested when things are hard and not when things are easy. So I think that is the main time I'm supposed to come out as a leader and then speak for the person, the victim. And so first thing to do is to take a report of whatsoever incident that happened and then call the dean or the HOD first and first complain to them and hear what they will say. And then we'll try our possible best to call this lecturer as well and then ask the lecturer, why will you do such and what is the motive behind your whole act. So if there are no reasonable reasons, and then we can move it to the management level. I think from there will be punishment served.
Okay, thank you very much, Etta. We have a message here. Someone says, "Hi, my name is Essen from Nigeria. Actually, I don't have any question for the guys in the studio, but I have few words. Okay, the SCG is supposed to be the bridge between the corrupt, nonchalant institution and the students. They are supposed to be the voice of the students, but in recent times, they have they have instead been conniving rather with the school management to exploit students. Isn't it funny that the only time the SCG seems to work is when they want to regulate the price regulate the price of afang and melon soup in Malabo for the poor woman selling there, or when they want to regulate the price of shuttle for the old men driving those mechanically malnourished buses. Okay. Meanwhile, the school management keeps increasing dues every semester, and you hear nothing from the SUG. What's stopping them from regulating the prices of dues and levies? Look at the state of the hostels. I've been to a Nigerian prison, and it's actually better. Why is the SUG not doing anything about it? Lecturers extorting students, why are they not doing anything about that either? But then again, I understand that they need to serve their masters. They probably can't even get into government if they are not ready to be corrupt. But I want them to be honest with themselves. They are no different from the federal government running this country into shambles. As a leader, your first priority should be the welfare of your people. If you can't do that as a leader, then you're just a criminal. And actually, it's okay to be a criminal. Just be honest while doing it. Good afternoon. What do you have to say about that, guys? As if I was very
Okay.
long read. So what do you have to say about that?
I feel the person behind that text message is not a Malabite or in this current government because the school management precisely, we
Mm.
have a new administration that have zero tolerance for all those gross misconduct that he or she stated there. Unical right now is ranked, I think, the 15th or 13th among the best universities in Nigeria.
Mm.
And we've moved from about 30 something to 15. And in less than the space of 1 year, courtesy of the current management. So I feel the person writing that article there is not current at all because if you're current, you know that Unical is currently experiencing what I call transformation in all sectors. The education, like the learning aspect, we are experiencing massive transformation. The management, everything, like no school fees has been increased so far, no dues has been increased so far. We are just like everything is going very smooth right now. I'm all better happy about the current state of Unical. So the person writing that maybe is writing from a bitter state of what happened to him or her when he or she was in school. So I will just tell you, come and see for yourself. There's nothing of such going on in Unical.
All right. How about you, Etta? What do you have to say? What comments do you have to say about that message?
Um, well, I must first of all tell that person that we have a new vice chancellor now, a man that believes in integrity, transparency, and of course, welfareism of the students. And so, those things are not actually happening here in this campus right now.
Okay. Okay, we have a message here. It says, Good afternoon, Unical Radio. I have a question for Senator Etta. Okay. It says, Leadership in student unionism often requires balancing activism with diplomacy. If elected as SUG president, how would you handle a situation where the school management introduces a policy that is clearly against students' interests, but resisting it aggressively could lead to suspension of the union of victimization of students? What would you do?
In terms of what policies?
I'll take that again.
Okay.
Leadership in student unionism often requires balancing activism with diplomacy. If elected as SUG president, how would you handle a situation where the school management introduces a policy that is clearly against students' interests, but resisting it aggressively could lead to suspension of the union or victimization of the student?
Well, first thing, I'm there to serve the students. And of course, if there should be any policies that will not favor the Malawites and the Malawites there, then I'll have to stand for it and then see how we can come in conclusion to for us to resolve whatsoever came up with that policy.
Even if it involves, maybe it can resolve to the union being suspended or you as a person being suspended. So are you that question simply means, are you willing to stick your neck out for the students?
That's too easy, but it's safe to say that since I'm there to represent them, to serve them, if it will cause that, then so be it.
All right, we have another question here. This one goes to Gosriel. What will you do when the management increases the school fees and in return they give you a new official car as a gift? Will you still fight for the students or you reject the offer? Remember that it has happened before.
Well, thank you to that person that actually asked that question. I would say it's a good one actually because definitely getting an official car or getting an extra car, I would say it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for a public figure to get another car. So definitely, if by the special grace of God I emerge and I get another car, then it's not the union money and it's not because I've been bought or been bribed. So definitely there won't be increment of school fees.
Mm. All right, fair enough. This question goes to you, Senator Vladina. And it says students' unionism is gradually shifting from advocacy to popularity contest driven by social media influence. How do you intend to build an administration that prioritizes policy, welfare, and institutional impact over online validation and political propaganda?
Okay. So actually, we have started registering our names in some certain places. How will I even say it? Okay, let me put it this way. We started inscribing our names in Malabite and Malabri's hat long before now, like doing things out of goodwill. During the Easter Monday celebration, I and my team gave raw food materials to over 600 Malabite and Malabrises here in the University of Calabar. So we've been doing that countless times. And with that, I feel, and then we did it not because we're contesting for any election or anything. We just wanted to like help cushion the effect of, I won't call it hunger. I just wanted to like help Malabite and Malabrises
Hmm.
from a very pure intention. So I think those kind of little gestures there really made our names to like to be inscribed in Malabite and Malabar's heart. So anytime you see massive turnout for Team Voltage, Team Ebon Vodina, I think those kind of gestures really give birth to it. So it's not about the online publicity, online, no, those ones are secondary. The
Hmm.
primary aspect was or is the good things that has been done prior to now. Those are the things that give birth to the current online influence you're seeing right now. So I'll tell the person to go back and check facts before coming back to ask the question.
Well, sharing food stuff to Malabites is is an act of welfare. Now, this person also asks in terms of policy and institutional impact. So
Okay.
the sharing of food stuff is one side of the coin. There's still policy and there's still institutional impact. So what would you do in terms of policy making and institutional impact?
Okay, policy making. First of all, I have not really been given the chance to take a leadership role to show them how good I will be in taking the school from point A to point B, which is like a better state. But so far, the little opportunity that I've had in giving the leadership roles, policies, and the rest, I think record and statistics shows that I've been doing quite well in it. So I think adding the two together can help balance the whole equation.
All right, this one question goes to Gosriel. But before then, let us take this call. Hello. Okay, if that was you trying to call, do well to call us back 0809 I'll take that again 0809 This question is directed to you, Gosso. It says, if after 1 year in office, students conclude that your administration failed to deliver, what standards should they use to judge whatever you truly failed as a leader or whether the system itself resisted progress?
Oh, definitely. Firstly, I would say if after 1 year the system failed, then definitely it is because I've now actually spoken for the students.
Hmm.
That's why the government actually failed, and it's actually a blame to my person because I promised to speak for them and I did not speak to them, and it's a slap on my face, which is not going to happen.
All right, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello,
Yes, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Naomi, calling from Pampos.
Okay, Naomi, talk to us.
Please, I have a question for the aspirants
Okay,
for the president position.
okay.
Okay, I want to know why they want to become the SCG president.
Naomi, were you listening at the beginning of the show? I think they all answered that question. So if that's the only question that you have, well, thank you so much for calling. Ensure that you stay very close to your radio set because that's the very first question they answered, why they would like to be the SUG president. Okay, there's another question here. It says, please, I have a question for Senator Ebong. Vadina Francis. The question is, why did he want to become the same question? He answered that question at the very first instance. So if that's the question that you want to ask, please move on to another question. 0809 I'll take that again. 0809 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number and we'll take it right here on the show. While we're waiting for your calls and your text messages, as a president, let's say that you succeed to become the next SUG president, what would you want to be remembered for after your tenure finishes? Let me start with you, Goswill.
Well, thank you. Firstly, I would say I want to be remembered by my legacy, by my honesty, and by my integrity. And like the saying go, Ekweme, talk and do. That used to be my nickname, talk and do, because I talk and do. I've been president of Obubra student in the University of Calabar. I've been a senator in NACRI's 13 Reformative Assembly. I've been scribe of parliament. I've been scribe of my departmental shrine.
Let's hold that thought and take this call first. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Prosper and I'm calling from Itonko.
Okay, Prosper, talk to us.
So I have a question directly to the candidate.
Okay.
Now, my question is, what makes you different from other presidential candidates? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. To enjoy the rest of your day. He asked, what makes you different from other candidates?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think, you know, different presidents, different way of thinking, different agenda and different narrative, different goals, and then different ideas on how to push change or bring transformation to their institutions or where they are leading. So I think what I really want to do might be different from what the current president is doing and all that. So I feel it's all about different mindset, different ideas and all that.
All right. This question goes to you, Etta. It says the issue of nail fun. How will you address it when you assume office? But before you answer that, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon.
What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Right Honorable Gabriel Mbina, calling from Department of Criminology.
Okay, talk to us.
I have two questions for the aspirants.
Okay.
One is, if the current situation, which some of the departments of nursing sciences have faced previously, occur, like admission racketeering and misappropriation or something like that, what would they handle? How can they handle it? When people racket admission for people who are not worthy or who don't have the cutoff mark to be admitted into some department.
Okay.
Then secondly, how can they handle pressure from both the people they are representing and the school management that will not bring conflict between the two bodies?
All right. Thank you very much for calling. To enjoy the rest of your day. So he's asking about one, admission racketeering, and two, how to handle pressure between the school management and the students as well. So let's start with you, Goswell.
Thank you for that question. Firstly, I will say the racketeering. The visa actually looked into it. Firstly, he actually suspended the admission officer, so to show that that is a very good start. Secondly, I will say I'm going to liaise with the management to see how far we can know the quota that's been given to the institution, and we hold them strict by their word that this also person should be given admission. Anything more than this, then the management will be held very accountably. And secondly, I did not get the second question.
He was asking about handling pressure from students and the management, because at the end of the day, you're representing the students in the management room. So how do you handle pressure from management and handle pressure from students?
Well, firstly, as I earlier stated, I've served in various capacity, and the worst thing to serve people is the worst thing that bring problem in association is finances. And I actually served in a non-paying dues association, and in those non-paying association, when money come in from supporters or stakeholders or from partners, then you see the tension, the crisis, like how are we going to share this money? Because of some greedy persons. And now, if you come to check the format, then definitely as a leader you need to be calm amidst of all arguments, all challenges. You need to be calm to tackle those issues. You communicate. You're the bridge between the students and the management. So you communicate with your student. If your student cannot listen to you, then you've already failed as a president. So you communicate with your student and have a roundtable meeting with the management, because definitely time you call, the management will answer.
All right, thank you very much for that one. At this point, we're going to pause right here because the world news by 1 o'clock is coming up shortly. But immediately after the news, we're going to be back and we're going to be answering all your questions right here on the show on Unical 103.5 FM. So all you have to do is stay very close to your radio sets and ensure that you have airtime to call, because the candidates, the aspirants are here and they're willing to answer all your questions. Keep it locked right here on Unical 103.5 FM. Good afternoon.
We interrupt the SUG debate to bring you the news bulletin at 1 p.m. Before the news in detail, first the headlines. Starting from campus news, Unical Electoral Commission releases list of cleared SUG candidates for 2026 polls. On the state news, trauma officer allegedly stabbed to death by commercial bus driver in Calabar. On the national scene, INEC appeals judgments voiding timelines for 2027 election. Away from Nigeria and onto the foreign scene, 3 killed in Uganda after crashing into elephant. And lastly, in entertainment and lifestyle, Alex Akubo to be buried June 18th in Abia, says family. Shifting gears from that, details of all these and more coming up in a jiffy. I am Ikomobat Sierim. Now the news in detail, starting from campus news. The University of Calabar Electoral Commission, CUECO, has released the list of candidates cleared to contest in the 2026 Students' Union government election. The list signed by CUECO Chairman Professor Peter Obi and Secretary Mebasi confirmed that Eyofem Etaita, Ebong Vodinia Francis and Ibianga Godswill Okom were cleared to contest for the office of president, while Boyibi Tao Matthew was not cleared. For the position of vice president, Egbeji Uchechuku Pascaline, Onyekachi Princess Chidima, and Israel Hosanna Chinemema were all approved to participate in the election. The commission also cleared candidates for several other executive offices, including Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Financial Secretary, Director of Welfare, and Director of Information. Among those screened, Victor Enya and Jacob Goodluck Kingsley were cleared for Secretary General and Deputy Secretary General, respectively, while some aspirants were disqualified. Effiong Blossom Edem, Eze Fabian Ejike, and Edama Jude were also cleared for Financial Secretary, Director of Welfare, and Director of Information. The release of the screening results signals the beginning of campaigns ahead of the 2026 SUG elections at the University of Calabar. On the state news, the traffic enforcement officer attached to the Traffic Management and Regulatory Agency Trauma has reportedly lost his life after being stabbed by a commercial minibus driver during a routine traffic operation in Calabar South. The tragic incident occurred on Monday, May 25th, 2026 at about 10 o'clock a.m. while the officer was carrying out traffic control and enforcement duties aimed at maintaining order and safety on the road. According to a statement issued by Trama's Public Relations Unit, the officer, who was unarmed and in uniform, was allegedly attacked without provocation and stabbed in the chest with a screwdriver by the driver. Despite efforts to save him, the officer later died from the injuries sustained. Reacting to the incident, Trama strongly condemned the killing, describing it as a brutal attack on public officers dedicated to protecting lives and ensuring smooth traffic flow. The agency stated that the matter has been reported to the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies while demanding the immediate arrest and prosecution of the suspect. Trama also urged commercial drivers, transport unions, and members of the public to shun violence and cooperate with traffic officials, stressing that attacks on enforcement officers threaten public safety and law and order. On the national scene, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has approved the Court of Appeal in Abuja set aside the judgment that voided the timelines it issued for the 2027 general election. The commission also applied for the stay of execution of the judgment pending the determination of its appeal. In the notice of appeal dated May 25th, which INEC filed through its team of lawyers led by Dr. Alex Izion, SAN, the Commission 9 grounds it urged the appellate court to consider and vacate the judgment the Federal High Court in Abuja delivered on May 20th. Aside from its contention that the High Court erred in law when it failed to determine a jurisdictional issue it raised, INEC maintained that the legal action the Youth Party YP initiated against it was not only hypothetical but academic. It argued that failure of the trial court to make pronouncements on the issues resulted in the denial of fair hearing to the appellant. Also, INEC insisted that the High Court erred in law when it held that it is clear from the wordings of sections 29, subsection 1, 82, and 84 of the Electoral Act 2026, the following can be understood. Section 29, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2026 mandates political parties to submit the names of candidates in prescribed forms of the candidates who emerged from its valid primaries, which such a political party intends to sponsor at the elections, not later than 120 days before the date of the general elections. And lastly, before the break, suspected gunmen who abducted 39 students and 7 teachers in Ahoro Eshinele community Orire local government area of Oyo State announced to be in touch with the state government for a ransom of an undisclosed amount. The incident has left teacher Michael Oyedokun reportedly beheaded. The continued delay in the release of the victims, Vanguard gathered, had led their families to mount pressure on the federal and state governments, just as the Shea Makinde's administration has vowed to deploy resources to get the victims returned alive. This came as the Board of Trustees BOT of the factional People's Democratic Party PDP, led by Senator Adolphus Wabara and members of the party's interim National Working Committee, NWC, led by Kabiru Turaki, yesterday called for a comprehensive overhaul of Nigeria's security architecture following recent bandit attacks in Orire local government area of Oyo State. Similarly, Yoruba Nation activist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, yesterday disclosed that he's still waiting approval from the federal government to formally commence operations of his security outfit, Iruekun Security Network, as part of efforts to flush out criminal elements from forests across the southwest. And if you're still listening, this is the World News at 1 p.m. on Unical Radio International 103.5 FM, Calabar. We'll be going on a really short timeout, and when we're back, we'll be bringing you the news in foreign, entertainment and lifestyle, and sports. Please stay tuned.
Before the headlines hit, we are already there. From the heart of the city to the corners of your community. From local reports to national updates, we dig deep to bring you the real stories behind every headline. This is your trusted source for credible stories, current happenings, and balanced reporting. Stay tuned. The truth is just one bulletin away. Only on Unical Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned to Unical Radio International. If you're just joining us, you're still on to World News at 1 p.m. On the foreign scene this afternoon, at least 3 people have died after a vehicle collided with an elephant in a national park in Uganda, officials have said. Police said 4 other people were injured in the incident in Morichson Falls National Park in the northwest of the country on Sunday evening. The vehicle was carrying 7 officials from the Uganda Revenue Authority, URA, it added. Car accidents are common in Uganda, and incidents involving wildlife and human are also on the rise as expanding communities encroach on protected wildlife areas. The car had been traveling from Ora City back to the capital Kampala when the collision took place, the Uganda police force said on X. The injured were rushed to a local hospital and later to Kampala for treatment, it said. Officials said it did not provide information on the elephant's condition. And in entertainment and lifestyle, the family of late Nollywood actor Alex Akubo has officially announced the funeral arrangements for the movie star following his tragic death at the age of 40. In an emotional post shared on the actor's official Instagram page on Monday, the family described Akubo as a man whose life was marked by love, generosity, faith, and warmth, while thanking fans, friends, and colleagues for the overwhelming support received since news of his passing broke. The family said the outpouring of love, prayers, visits, messages, and support during the mourning period had been deeply comforting. According to the announcement, a service of songs will be held on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026, at the Monarch Event Center in Lekki, Lagos, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., with guests expected to wear white. The wake-up is scheduled for Wednesday, June 17th, 2026, at 7 Ekubo Okwareke Avenue, Aziukukwa, Ujari Village, Arochoko, Abia State. This funeral service will take place on Thursday, June 18th, 2026 at Mary Slessor School, Amagu Village, Arochoko, Abia State. The family also invited friends, colleagues, fans, and well-wishers to join them in celebrating the actor's life and legacy. And lastly, in sports, Lionel Messi remained at the heart of an injury scare only weeks before the World Cup after medical tests diagnosed him with a muscle fatigue in his left hamstring, Inter Miami announced on Monday. The Major League Soccer club's updates provided no clear timetable for the Argentine superstar's return after his abrupt exit from Miami's 6-4 victory over Philadelphia in the 73rd minute on Sunday. The 38-year-old icon for the defending World Cup champions grabbed the back of his left leg and asked to come off, but appeared to be walking normally as he made his exit to the locker room. That gave precious little indications about the status of the 8-time Ballon d'Or winner as Argentina prepares to defend the crown in a World Cup co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico at that kicks off on June 11th. And that's the size of our news package this afternoon. But before we go, here's a quick recap of major headlines. We told you starting from campus news, Unical Electoral Commission releases list of cleared SUG candidates for 2026 election polls. On the state's news, trauma officer allegedly stabbed to death by commercial bus driver in Calabar. On the national scene, INEC appeals judgments voiding timelines for 2027 elections. And away from Nigeria, 3 killed in Uganda after crashing into elephants. And lastly, in entertainment and lifestyle, Alex Ekubo to be buried June 18th in Abia State, family says. If you have news reports from your area, hostels, departments, and faculties, please call our news hotline on 0809 444 4058, or you can make a report via our website at unicalem.net/ireports. Follow us on social media on Facebook or Unical Radio International, on Instagram we're Unical Radio, on TikTok and X we're Unical Radio. Please do away with any form of discrimination and nepotism as we strive to build a united nation. And always remember, as Malabites, Malabresis, and Cross Riverians, we're known for reasonable actions. And that was World News as edited by Albert Keller and the production team. My name is Ikomobasi Erim. Thank you for staying with us, and the rest of the SUG presidential debate continues. Good afternoon.
in the people's paradise. It's Unical Radio International. Cross River Estate, Nigeria. 103.5 FM. Education, information and entertainment.
22 minutes past hour of one. It's still the presidential debate right here on Unical 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. Before the break, you had to move away for the world news by 1 p.m. to be broadcasted, but we are back and we're answering your questions right here on Unical 103.5 FM. Our presidential aspirants are still here in the studio. We have Goto, we have Francis, and of course Etta in the studio. We've had a ton of messages directed to the aspirants, but I'm going to try as much as I can to just run through them and have them answered as soon as possible. Now, this one says, "Good afternoon, Unical Radio. This question is directly to the incoming, the incoming President, Senator Vodina Francis. What specific problem facing Unical students do you think past SUG administration failed to solve, and what exactly will you do differently?" I'll take it again. What specific problem facing Unical students do you think the past SUG administration failed to solve, and what exactly would you do differently? That question is to you, Vodina Francis.
Thank you very much. I won't say the past SCG president failed to do it. I will say maybe they didn't give it much attention or they didn't really push hard for it. I feel it's the aspect of the cost registration, the deadline. You know, if those of those Malabite and Malabrites that were present on my manifesto day, I made reference of how majority of them do struggle to meet up the deadline for registration of certain things. So I feel there should be a dialogue with the management on how those extensions could still, like for instance now the deadline will be extended at least to some points to enable those average, I don't want to use the word poor, but those average or those middle class or those ones that are trying to like meet up like their payments and the rest, they should always be given that platform to meet up at their convenience. So I feel something could be done about it. For me, that's one of the key things I feel I will really push hard for.
Okay, there's another question here directed to you. It says, "Hi, I'm Ernest from Calabar. What are your priorities? What problems will you face first within your first 100 days in office if you become the president?"
Okay, my priorities, first of all, a child of God. So actually, I would really love to focus on the campus fellowships because when we have different campus fellowships here in the University of Calabar, and then I will pay more attention to those campus fellowships because my priorities, those are my personal priorities. I love the things of God, so I'll give you my time to serving God and all
Shouldn't
that.
your priorities reflect the priorities of the students as well? What's your guarantee that the students also prioritize what you're prioritizing?
Okay, that's just one of like that particular thing I mentioned about the church and campus church and all these things. Those are the ones topping the chart. And then if we really want to go down, then we have academics there, and then the healthy academic competition that will be coming up frequently, time to time, and all that. So there are a lot in store. Or do you want me to give you a breakdown of everything?
Well, since you've already given us in a nutshell, we don't have the time for all of that.
All
Okay,
right.
let's take this call. Hello, good
Hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon.
What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Precious, calling from the campus.
Okay, Precious, talk to us.
Okay, this question is for Godona.
Okay.
Okay, the question is this. If the school management rejects all your promises, what alternative strategy will you use instead of giving excuses?
Okay, thank you so much, Precious, for calling. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, you have the floor now.
Come again with the question.
If the management rejects all your promises, what alternative strategies would you use as you become president of the Federal Republic of Malabo?
Dialogue.
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple and very straight to the point. Okay, we have a question for Etta. This one says, "How would you make yourself accountable to the students so they can verify that promises are actually kept, not just announced at rallies?" How would you make yourself accountable to the students so they can verify that promises are actually kept, not just announced at rallies?
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful question. Well, I will not promise perfection, but then I'll promise education.
Mm.
And so if there is anything I'm campaigning for, that's automatically, that is what I would do.
Okay. All right, let's take this last question before we wrap up this debate. And this one goes to all of you. If elected SUG president, how would you handle a situation where students demand an immediate protest over an issue affecting them, but your investigation reveals that rushing into protest could worsen the situation or expose students to danger? Would you follow public pressure or strategic caution? And how would you convince students to trust your decision without appearing weak or compromised? Should I take that again? Or did you get it?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, please.
Okay. Firstly, I would say definitely if students are going to protest, because in my 100 level while I stayed at Hall 4, that's the Asu Rock. Then Asu Rock. It was not up to a week when the then Lieutenant administration was into power, and there was no light for about a 1 week in Malabo, and it took just one man to actually start that protest and actually lock down the school gates during the then VC Professor Florence Obi administration. It took just one man to actually start that project, and the SUG president was not aware of that project. So definitely, if I emerge by the special grace of God, definitely there are going to be emergency response, like I earlier said, emergency response at the hostel, so that even though I'm not available at that moment, and something of that magnitude want to start up, then those emergency response can actually reach out to me, and I, as a president, can actually come because I'm the mediator between I and the student. So definitely, all Malabites and Malabres have been wanting is God's view. That's the will of God to come. So God's will is here, and the shield guards them cover. So definitely there won't be that protest because I'm mediating between the students and the management. So definitely I can calm my student down. We have done a lot of things, a lot of stuff like that before. So I can calm my students down, and definitely they will listen to me as a leader that I am.
Okay, how about you, Atal? Should I read the question or you got the question at the
Yes.
first read? I should read it again.
Yeah.
Okay, it says, if elected SUG president, how would you handle a situation where students demand an immediate protest over an issue affecting them, but your investigations reveal that rushing into protest could worsen the situation or expose students to danger? How would you follow public pressure or strategic caution, and how would you convince students to trust your decision without appearing weak or compromised?
Okay, thank you. During my regime, actually, there will be a committee set, and this committee will fully focus on intervention and then fast response. So, in a scenario where maybe I'm not in the scene, my committee will go and then take proper reports first before any action. And of course, I will always want to hear from the student concerned and what could have prompted this sudden protest. And then from hearing there, I can now go to the management, engage with the management, and then bring a form of dialogue between the students, and then the management.
All right, amazing. How about you, Vladina Francis? Should I read the question or you got the question?
Yeah, come again with the question.
Okay, it says, if elected SUG president, how would you handle a situation where students demand an immediate protest over an issue affecting them, but your investigations reveal that rushing into protest could worsen the situation or expose students to danger? How would you follow public pressure or strategic caution? And how would you convince students to trust your decision without appearing weak or compromised?
Okay, thank you for the question. I've never been a fan of protest, no, because I believe in resolving issues amicably. Protest has never been my way of going about things because in Nigeria so far, I doubt if there have been any peaceful protest. Because once you just start this protest of a thing, let's take it from out there from Unical to like the secular world. Once there's a protest, the next thing the protest get hijacked by hoodlums, and then it will escalate to something else. I'm not saying Unical has hoodlums because so far in Unical I've not seen anywhere tagged as hoodlum zone or anything. So, but whereby students will find it, oh, let's use this opportunity to like destroy this lecturer's car if at all you want to indulge it. So to me, protest is never an option. Never.
All right.
And I will strongly prohibit any student that indulges in it because I've never been a fan of protest.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Francis. Thank you very much, Etta. Thank you very much, Gospel, for your time. It has been a very insightful conversation. I love it that the students are have been able to ask you questions, have been able to communicate with you directly. Because at the end of the day, leadership is a two-way street. You have to communicate with your followers as much as your followers want to communicate with you as well. Before we call it a day, before we wrap up this debate, what are your last words? What do you want to say to Malabites and Malabres off and on campus listening to you right now? Let me start with you, Etta.
Before you start,
Before we close, what last words would you like to say to Malabites and Malabresses off and on campus listening right now?
well, I will just have to say one thing. I'll repeat and I'll always repeat. I so much care about the malability tendency. That word malability tendency is a Greek word that was derived, I think, led ESCO of
A Greek
2016.
word. Oh
Should
wow.
No, I will not say a Greek word, but then it's a word that was being used by our then leader, comrade Dr. Afufu Anthony, the malability tendency.
Mm.
And so,
What does it mean?
okay, um, it's bringing both Malawites and the Malawites together.
Mm.
Yeah, making them understand that there's what they call inclusiveness.
Mm.
Understand that, yes, there's what they call cohesiveness. And of course, they are your top priorities. And
Oh,
so,
all right, thank you very much, Etta. How about you, Fadina Francis? What are your last words to Malabites, Malabresses listening off and on campus?
Okay, I want to say that leadership is not about titles. It's not about your position. It's all about how you can give value to, like, give back to the community that you're representing, how you can protect their interest, how you can be there for them, how they can call on you even at 12 midnight and then you always be there for them. And then how you like representing them because you are now their mediator and you have to be you're equally like the ambassador. So you have to be a good ambassador of the people you're representing at all time. I feel that's what leadership is all about. So, and if you're voting for a leader, you should look for all those criteria before casting your vote for your leader. So I feel every Malabite and Malabite should look deep down. I'm not saying I'm the most credible aspirant or candidate for this election, but before you cast your vote for any presidential aspirant, take your time, go through the track record, and then you cast your vote. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Francis. How about you, Gospel? What are your last words to Malabites, Malabresses listening on and off campus?
Firstly, to Malabites and Malabres, I will say, the leader you're supposed to vote should be a replica of what he or she or what we have said. It should be a replica of what we actually said, because definitely, I assure Malabites and Malabres that I'm not going to be a leader that a leader of what? Because if you check my track record, I've actually done a lot in the previous years. Go and verify. I have the experience and I've done a lot, even for Malabites and Malabres. Because I will not come and give Malabites and Malabres a project that is not feasible or what cannot be actualized. Because definitely, if I'm giving Malabites and Malabres free foodstuffs today and I cannot give them tomorrow when I become president, then it's bad. It's a blow on my face. But I give them transport subsidy, telling them that when I come into power, then definitely there'll be reduction in transportation and so on and so forth. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Gotswill. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Etta, for coming and having this conversation with us. This conversation will continue shortly with the vice presidential aspirant, still right here on Unical 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. You've heard from the presidential candidates. I'm sure that they've been able to answer your questions and you have made the decision to vote for whoever is more credible, than the other. I'll leave in the hands of Zlatan and Fola. This one says, get better. The vice presidential debate comes up shortly. Stay very close to your radio set. Welcome back from that break. Like I said, the we just finished with the SUG presidential debate, and right now we're moving to the vice presidential debate, and we have a room full of ladies. Sometimes I ask myself, why is it that the ladies always step aside for the men to go for the presidential seat, and they just want to be vice presidents? I'll ask them, in due time. What we have in the studio, Uchechukwu Pascaline. She is from the Faculty of Clinical Science, Department of Medicine and Surgery, University of Calabar, Calabar. We also have Onyekachi Princess from the Faculty of Engineering, Department of Petroleum Engineering, University of Calabar. We also have Israel Hosanna from the Faculty of Medical Laboratory Science, Department of Medical Laboratory Science, University of Calabar. Welcome, ladies, to Unical 103.5 FM. How are you guys feeling? Let me start with you, Hosanna. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I feel so nice, sweet, and
You feel
so
sweet.
good to be here.
Please share this sweetness to me. I want to feel sweet as well. Anyway, welcome to Unico 103.5 FM. How about you, Princess? How are you feeling this afternoon?
Okay, actually, this is my first time being on a place like this, so I don't know. I would say I feel good. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We'll take it from you. Anyway, how about you, Pascaline? How do you feel this afternoon?
Well, I feel so happy to be here.
Mm.
This is my first time of being on air, and I'm excited to be here, and I
Ama-
can't wait for what this opportunity holds for us.
Amazing. Once again, thank you for joining me. I think I needed this feminine energy because I just finished with the men and it was intense. So I needed this soft and very smooth energy. Okay, so now let me ask you the same question that I asked the men. Every decision, every dream, every ambition has a driving force. Now, what is your driving force to contest for the position of the vice president, SUG level? Let's start with you, Pascaline.
Okay, I believe that leadership is about representation,
Okay.
imparting, and being innovative. Okay, having been in the students' union for a very long time, I've served as the deputy senate president, and I've also served as a senator in the 11th senate. I served as the student week chairman, and I've seen where the problem of the students are coming from. I saw where the loopholes are, and I feel like contesting for the office of the vice president, I have the solution to the students' problem. I can represent them. I want to be the voice of the voiceless students. I want to represent the students wherever I go. So when there is decision making, I can represent the student. I can take decisions that can help the students in whatever they are doing.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much for that one. How about you, Hosanna? What is the driving force for contesting as the vice president, SUG level?
Okay, thank you once again for having me here. I feel I can serve the students. I've been in the student union. I've held the office of the vice president of the Faculty of Medical Laboratory Science, University of Calabar. I've served as the all welfare of aides. I've been staying in the hostel from my year one to my year four. I've been very close to students, and I'm a student. I know our cries, our worries, our plights, and I feel I can, and I know, not I feel, that I can serve as an intermediary between the students and the management, talk to them about our worries, prefer solutions, and take and bring happiness back to my fellow Malabites and Malabrises.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Hosanna. How about you, Princess? What is the driving force for contesting as the vice president of the Student Union Government, University of Calabar?
Um, Thank you very much. I would like to state that me wanting to serve was actually born out of the zeal to serve the Nigerian students and to make sure that their voice are being heard and amplified. So, as much as I've served in various capacities, which include the Financial Secretary of Society of Petroleum Engineers, a senator representing the Faculty of Engineering and Technology in the 12th Cohesive Senate, also the chairman of Student Week at that level, I already have the ability and I know that students we know that the student union government, the vice president is like the mother of the union, and we already need a mother that is there to listen and care for us Malabais and Malabreses. So I've volunteer to be that mother that will take care of everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Mommy Willy Pampa. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, now let me ask you this very interesting question. It's going to be a general question for all of you. I'll start with you, Hosanna. Now, as Vice President, what is one operational change you will personally drive that will make the Student Union more effective? And what exact structure will you put in place to ensure that it continues working even when you are not in that position anymore?
Okay. Over the years, okay, let me not say that. But if I emerge as the vice president of the student union government, I will not just do the normal student week and orientation planning, which is enshrined in the constitution as my constitutional duties. So if I emerge, I have different initiatives that I would like to introduce, like for the first time, and they are very, very impact driven initiatives that my predecessors will want to take over from. We'll create committees that will look into all nook and crannies of the welfare of students. Initiatives like in the hostel, I realized we have low emergency medical response systems, and I've been in cases where students who are asthmatic and epileptic have crisis, and it takes a lot of process for us to get vehicles that will transport them down from the hostel to the medical center. And by the grace of God, nothing has happened. But if we are delayed a little bit, maybe we might have lost the life of a student. So if I emerge, I will talk to the management and apply for an emergency vehicle, like an ambulance, that will be at the hostel standby points for students, so that in case all those emergencies comes up, they can easily take them down to the head medical center. And also I will give each hostel a fully equipped first aid box and train hostel occupants on how to be first aiders, so that anybody at any point in time can attend to any student if crisis arises. I would also like to host the first ever campaign against social vices. I've noticed that the rate of cohabitation in the University of Calabar is getting high. Cohabitation means female student going to live with male student going to live with female student as a result of lack of accommodation. So we'll look into the hostel, fish out. So we'll create a committee that will look into the hostel, fish out graduates that are and illegal occupants of the hostel that are occupying spaces for the main students. Will fish them out so that there will be enough spaces for current students. And I feel these structures, when laid down, the next person will take over from that.
All right, thank you very much, Hosanna. How about you, Pascaline? As President, what is the one operational change you will personally drive that will make the Students' Union more effective? And what exact structure will you put in place to ensure it continues working even when you're not in that seat anymore?
Okay, as the vice president, we have an initiative we've started already when I was the deputy senate president. It's an initiative that takes care of the students living with sickle cell. Okay, and I'm a medical student, and we see that a lot. Students coming with vaso-occlusive crisis and whatnot, and you know that students living with sickle cell, if you don't attend to them immediately, a lot can happen. So I've been caught up in cases like that, and that's what triggered my initiative to start to take care of students living with sickle cell. And now we're starting student empowerment. Okay, one student one skill initiative is more like taking care of students. So after school, we are Nigerians, and job opportunities nowadays are really difficult. So I'll work in tandem with the entrepreneurship department to make sure they provide the students with skills that we can be doing that every Thursday. After school activities, we can come up, learn one or two things, whatever that is your interest, whatever that is your driving force, you can do that. So after school, you have something to fall back to. And again, talking about student emergency response, I will create a hotline where you can easily reach out to me. Even though I'm not around, we have my essay on health, essay on students refereeism that can take care of you and attend to you when there is any challenges, any problem in the student center. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Pascaline. Moving over to you, Princess. As the Vice President, what is the one professional change you will personally drive that will make the Students' Union more effective? And what exact structure will you put in place to ensure that it continues working even when you're no longer in that position?
Um, okay, I would like to state that when I'm in office, there is going to be a structure that is mainly for inclusivity. And when they are there for the inclusivity, it also helps when in the whole paying attention and listening to the immediate needs of the children, that's the students, as a mother of the union.
You're embodying this
So,
mother role.
so we are going to have a we are going to have a platform where all the class coordinators of each faculties, departments, levels, and all were coming together. And as they're coming together, we'll have some meetings and they will tell us about the plight of their students, because we all know that the class coordinators are the closest to the students and they know the people that have the highest problems, the people that are going through a lot. So it's easier for them to explain to us what is really going on in their classes. So from there, that we'll get that inclusivity where they are all together and they will work together. So even after I'm done with office, the next person coming in can easily take over from there and continue in the footstep. And as well, it makes it easier to listen to the complaints and pleas of the students. Also, there are going to be skill acquisition programs or student empowerment programs. Or currently, I'm already working with an NGO that deals on China importation, and with that, we can be able to enlighten the students or give the students that skill where they can import goods directly from China. And as such, even after they are done from school, they don't need to sit around saying government has not given us work or something like that. So these are legacies that as I'm leaving, I can drop with the next person and tell the person, okay, or inform the person this is how it has been working. So you can do it this way and it will even work better in your hands, because we all believe that our children should do better than us. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Princess, for that one. Moving over to you, Hosanna. Now, many vice presidents disappear into the background after elections. What mechanisms would you put in place to ensure visible, continuous, and engaging initiatives with students?
Okay. I have served as the vice president of the Faculty of Medical Laboratory Science, like I said initially, and I know what it takes to be a vice president. If you go to the Faculty of Medical Laboratory Science now and inquire, they'll tell you that throughout my tenure, I was never invisible because I was proactive. I was engaging in all activities of the union. I was present in all decision making. I took the cries of students. I remember there was a time students of my faculty had supplementary exams issues, and because of the overpopulation of the faculty, most of them did not get the opportunity to write that supplementary exam. So I took over 20 of them and we went to solicit, and the DVC academic looked into the situation. The DVC academic then looked into the situation and it helped all of them write their exams. So I did not plan, or I do not plan to stay invisible. I'll be very active in all part of the union with my initiatives. And these initiatives, I will not have to wait till a particular time before I start taking them out. I have different initiatives that at every point in government we are active. At every point in government we are having one programs or the other for the benefit of the students.
All right, thank you very much for that one, Hosanna. Moving over to you, Pascaline. Now, describe moments in your student's life where you had to manage conflict or pressure. How does that experience qualify you to handle campus level disputes?
Okay, thank you, sir, for that question. Having been a senator in the 12th Senate, the 12th Senate is one of the strongest Senate that I can say that I've served in, because I served in the 11th. But 12th Senate was filled with, stand where comrades,
Okay.
and it was very difficult to actually work with them because coming into an agreement with the senators is actually a difficult thing to do, because you might have an opinion that you feel that will help us to arrive at a particular aim, but they're seeing it from a different point of view. Okay, and it was really difficult. My ability to manage everybody and carry everybody along was really top notch, and I was so happy that I could do that, though it was difficult, but I thank God I could do that. Then how it qualifies me for this position is that I'm an open-minded person and I'm easygoing. I buy people's opinion and I weigh it with mine. So when I weigh it, whichever one that is more heavier will go with it. Okay. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I'm going to incorporate the students in whatever I'm doing, seek for their opinions, seek for their innovation, add it to make sure we achieve a better administration. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. If you have any questions for the vice presidential aspirants, do call us this afternoon, 0809 4444 058. I'll take that again, 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. Note, do not call us on WhatsApp. Just call us via normal calls or send a text message to WhatsApp or an SMS 0809 4444 I'll take that again 0809 4444 Now over to you, Princess. Now, when the president is unavailable or overwhelmed, the vice president must step up. Give one scenario where your leadership instincts will take over, and how do you intend to do that?
Sorry, please, can you repeat?
Of course. When the president is unavailable or overwhelmed, the vice president must step up. Now, give us one scenario where your leadership instinct would take over, and how would you do that?
Okay. In a scenario where the president is not available, let's say maybe he's out on an official duty, to step up and take over. And then in a scenario where maybe he's, like say, emotionally unavailable, because sometimes the weight of the voting can be very, very, very much overwhelming and all. So in moments like that, he can reach out to me and say, "Oh, my VP, please do this," and I'm going to step up. I would like to mention something when it comes to stepping up and working in the shoes of some other people or working in the shoes of our leaders. Before I came to school, I was a teacher. I was a primary school teacher, and I've had some points where maybe the proprietress of the proprietor is not around, and they're like, "Oh, who is the teacher that can be able to handle the school activity?" Most times they refer back to me. Why? Because I've been able to show that ability to absorb whatever is coming from the children, to take care of everyone and make sure that everything goes smoothly. So because of those experience and all, I know that I can be able to handle whatever comes in when I'm to take the place of the president.
All right, thank you very much, Princess. Now we have a question here. This question is directed to Comrade Hosanna, but before then, let us take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Amaka. I'm calling from the campus.
Okay, Amaka, talk to us.
Okay, this question is directly to Pascaline.
Okay.
All right, the question is this. If the president fails to perform, what exactly will you do as a vice president without causing conflict? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Over to you, Pascaline. Please help us answer this.
Okay, thank you very much, Malabres, for that beautiful question. I'm more of a peaceful person than someone that causes conflict, and when the president is not around, I can step up my game in the place of the president to make sure that the campus is peaceful and the student activity goes on. Because of the president is not around, we shouldn't stop whatever we've outlined to do in the campus. I will make sure I step up my game, work in the absence of the president, and his absence won't be recognized. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. This question goes to Comrade Hosanna. It says, conflicts within leadership teams destroy many administrations. If tension arises between you and the president, how would you manage disagreement without destabilizing the union?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question, Malabai to Malabres. So, if tension arises, first of all, we'll call for a dialogue between me and the president. I will go to him because he's the leader of the executive council, and as such, he should be respected. So, I will go to him to talk to him, air my point of view, beg him, and try to talk to him so that we'll reach a consensus. If we're unable to reach a consensus, we'll have to take it to the executive council, and the executive council will handle it. But if it extends more than the executive council, we'll have no other option than to take it to the Senate, because the Senate is there to look into the activities of the executive council.
All right, thank you very much for that one, Hosanna. Now over to you, Princess. You all have spoken about a medical initiative in terms of catering for the medical welfare of Malabites and Malabares. Now, beyond medical welfare, what other welfare initiative do you have in store for Malabites and Malabares? But before then, let's take this call. Hello. Good afternoon. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Nkiruka and I'm calling from Calabar.
Okay,
I
Nkiruka.
have yes, I have a question for Senator Pascaline.
Okay.
What should the student vote for? Why should the student vote for you instead of someone else? And what do you think you would bring that is unique as against what other aspirants have?
All right. Thank you very much for calling. To enjoy the rest of your day. Over to you, Pascaline.
Okay, thank you, beautiful Malabres, for that question. And I, for once, is one of the leaders or the female leaders with evidence, and my track record is very clean. As the deputy senate president, I hosted the last menstrual hygiene day, and we also did breast cancer awareness because I'm a medical student and I see Malabres come to the hospital, our teaching hospital, with breast lump without knowing that they have breast lump. So I that triggered my initiative to start the breast cancer awareness among students, and we did prostate cancer screening among students, male students for that matter. We did female breast cancer, and we were able to detect 5 Malabreses with breast lump, and we gave our support for them to have it removed. But we couldn't, I must say, students, so I couldn't like fund them to do the full surgery, but I gave what I could at the moment. And what makes me unique is because I've served in different leadership position, and I feel I have what it takes to be in that position because my track record and what I can do. Okay. So now, coming to how I intend to do that, I'll work as a bridge between the students and the management to make sure that whatever right through belongs to the students goes to the students and their fundamental rights won't be trampled upon. And I will make sure that the students don't suffer what they've been suffering before. Okay, so that's my answer for that question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Pascalina. Before that call came in, I was asking you, Princess. I said, you all have spoken about medical welfare for Malabites and Malabares. Now, away from medical welfare, what other welfare packages or initiatives do you have for Malabites and Malabares if you become the vice president of the Student Union Government, University of Calabar?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. And before I continue, I would like to, okay, before I say something, I would like to state that I'm not a medical student, I'm an engineering student, and as such, we believe in innovation and creativity. So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think I talked about health. I was basically on skills and empowerment, which I know that the things that will help in the welfareism of Nigerian students. So yeah.
All right, we have a message here for Senator Pascaline. It says, would you rather be remembered as a vice president who preserved peace but achieved little, or one who challenged the system aggressively but created instability? Explain your choice. Let's take it again. Okay, it says, would you rather be remembered as a vice president who preserved peace but achieved little, or one who challenged the system aggressively but created instability? Explain your choice.
That's a very tactical question, and I'll start by saying that I've said that before. I'm more of a peaceful person than an aggressive person. Okay, in this context now, I will say I will be the vice president that did a lot, challenge the system to the extent I can, because I also believe there's a room for dialogue. When you keep quiet, what you want don't come to you. But I believe in peaceful dialogue. Okay, when there's a challenge, we can always call the management and we'll discuss. Okay, they will tell us from their own point of view how they see this, and we'll tell them from our own point of view how we see this. That's why we're students representative. We're not just going there to occupy seats or to be ceremonial. No, we're going to work with the management and also work with the students to make sure that the campus is free from trouble and everybody is peaceful and everybody is happy at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right, we have a question for Princess. It says, many administrations fail because leaders surround themselves with loyalists instead of competent people. What criteria would you personally use in recommending appointments or partnerships within your administration?
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful question. Um, Earlier I talked about um a platform where all the class governors or all the class I don't want to use representatives, all the class coordinators are, and at such they will be the one to get the, would I say, the people they know for a fact in various faculties and departments that they have been very helpful in one way or the other to be the helping hands of the office. So at such is not going to be a cartel office or an office that deals based on people that you know or people that are close. So it's going to be more of a teamwork, because my father used to say, or there is a saying that teamwork makes the dream work. So it's going to be more like a teamwork from various angles, and we believe that the dream will come true.
All right, there's another question, and this one goes to all the aspirants. This question says, the immediate past vice presidents played played a visible role in advancing student engagement and contributing to programs like the Unical Students Week. If elected, would you be willing to recognize and strategically collaborate with past students leaders like her to for continuity, mentorship, and institutional growth? Or do you believe every administration should function independently? Explain how you would balance continuity with establishing your own leadership identity. Who wants to go first?
Okay, okay, I believe government is continuity.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't believe the student union government will come to an end at the end of your administration. I believe we'll have something like forum of the vice president. That's where the ex vice president stays, strategize, and okay, when they have an incumbent vice president, if she's not doing well, that's where they call her to order or kind of tell her, oh, see what you're doing, you're not doing the right way, and do it this way. So I believe in spirit of collaboration and remembering leaders that have done well in their capacity and in the office they've served. So I believe if I emerge as the vice president student union government, I'll run a government of continuity. I will always carry the emeritus vice presidents along in whatever I do for better advice, because I don't know it all. Okay, there's something I will feel like I know better, and they'll tell me, no, Pascaline, do it this way or follow this route, and it will be very successful. Thank you.
All right. How about you, Hosanna? What would you say to this regard?
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful question. So, first of all, I would like to tell you and the general Unical community that I am a member of the Forum of Faculty Vice Presidents, and as such, different vice presidents are in that forum, both passive and active. That's the past and the present ones. I've seen different activities from different vice presidents, which I would like to emulate if I emerge. I still have new initiatives I would like to bring. So I would like to say I believe on the principle of continuity in government. So I'll trade the footstep of those that have done good, get advice from them, seek recommendations for them, because I'll need some NGOs, some referrals when I want to carry out programs, and I cannot do that alone. I will need to still fall back to my predecessors if I emerge. So I will reach out to them and get advice from them, work with them, as well as bringing in my own new initiatives.
All right, amazing. How about you, Princess? What do you have to say in this regard?
Okay, I think I've answered the question like this in the past. And what I would say is that as an incumbent vice president, I'm just coming into the system. You barely know how it works. So you need the the emeritus, that's the previous vice president, not just the immediate past one, both the immediate past one, the previous one, like the generations of the vice president. You need to, because not no man is an island of wisdom or knowledge. So you need to get to meet each and every one of them, especially when it comes to that student week, because it's going to be, it's something that is very, like, it's very demanding, and your ideas might not be able to contain the whole for the whole week. So it's something you really need to go to the various vice presidents and seek and grab one or two things from them, so that you can even be able to do something better.
Amazing, amazing. Now, there's a very recurring question that the presidential aspirants answered, and I want you guys to answer that question as well. Now, in the first 100 days of office, what visible accomplishments should Malabites and Malabesses to look forward to and hold you accountable if they don't see those initiatives and those, visible policies and initiatives? Let me start with you, Pascaline.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful question. Um, in the first 100 days of office, there's an initiative that I'm working on. Once I emerge, it will start running immediately. Is one student to one mentor. I believe that the students are actually passing through a lot, but they don't have a direct person to talk to. They don't have a direct mentor or someone they can take their challenges to, like what happened in radiography, nursing, med lab, and the medical college. I believe that the students were dropped from school. Some were depressed. Some had anxiety disorder, but no direct person to talk to about their challenge. So, first 100 days of office, I will start one student to one mentor, so the students can easily relate their problems, and the mentors that I'm bringing are people that have been in that position before, people that have served in different leadership position, people that have graduated from school, people that are still in school, maybe second degree, third degree, or something still kept them in school, but are doing well academically and otherwise. So that's the people I intend to bring, so the students can easily relate their problems when they don't have someone to talk to, or when they have issue academically but they don't know who to relate to. Because what I actually found out when students were dropped because of that F, 2F, 3F, is that some of them had that issue, but no direct source, no direct person to talk to. Okay, one of my junior students that I met during that period was like, Mama, see, I had this issue, but I couldn't relate it to anybody. And I said, okay, now things are bad. We are not talking. So that's one thing I want to start. One student to one mentor. And I'll make sure I follow up on the mentors, because I'll be the one coaching them on what to do and how to relate to the student. Then the student health initiative, very, very important, because I noticed that from the hostel to the hospital is just a few hours drive. But before you get a vehicle that will bring the student to the hospital when there is any issue, it will take time. So I'll make sure that one of the mini buses or will be converted into an ambulance. I will do that because it's very, very important. Because by the time you call the mini buses to run from the hostel to the hospital in the night, a lot of things have gone wrong. So I will relay with the management and talk with the management to bring an emergency ambulance for the students staying in the hostel. Very, very important. Very, very important, because our doctors in the hospital say the student needs an ambulance that work. So in case of any problem, by the time you get shuttle, and by that time of the day, you will see shuttles that leave school or go to main gate. So if it's an emergency, by the time you run the person to the hospital, it's already late. So that's what I'll work on with the management to provide an emergency ambulance for students in the hostel.
All right,
Thank you
thank you
very
very
much.
much. How about you, Hosanna? In your first 100 days in office, what are the initiatives that students should look out for and hold you accountable if they don't see those initiatives?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Like I earlier said before, I will host a first ever campaign against social vices, drug abuse, rape, assault, and the likes of them, cohabitation. And also, we'll create a committee that will fish out illegal occupants that are making current students not to have enough accommodations in hostels, so that our students will not be prone to dangers because of lack of financial stability. Then, secondly, before 100 days in office, our exam will come between that period. I would like to host the first ever exam palliative, meaning that I've noticed that students don't have access to past questions, especially as they introduce this new model curriculum, the CCMAS curriculum. So our first exam palliative, we give past questions to students studying different field of study in the university. We'll share pens, we'll share academic materials that they can use to prepare for the forthcoming exams. Then secondly, we'll kickstart the process of the first aid training in different hostels, where we'll train each hosteler on how to be a first aider, and we'll give each hostel a fully equipped first aid box with the necessary items for first aid. And also the emergency ambulance I've talked about, we'll make sure we'll write to the management. I cannot promise if the management will grant that request before 100 days time, but I'll make sure I do it before I leave office. And if it's not possible to get it directly from the management, we'll reach out to well-meaning individuals that are students inclined from outside the university to donate that to us. Thank you.
All right, amazing. How about you, Princess? In your first 100 days in office, what initiatives should students look out for and hold you accountable if they do not see those initiatives?
Thank you so much for that question. And first of all, I would like to state that I'm not trying to mention everything I will be doing in office, but in the first 100 days in office, students should we've already created a platform where every student is being represented through their class coordinator, where their voices are being amplified and heard. And I will not, we all know that our mother in the house, they don't wait to say, go and tell this person will tell me. I'll be there to listen to their pleas and then know the further action that will be taken. So as the mother, I'll always be available. That's the number one thing in 100 days. They will see the visibility, that they'll feel the impact that they have a mother that pays attention to their every need. And then the skill or the student empowerment programs within the first or before the first 100 days in office, there will be a lot of mentorship or career mentorship programs and student skill acquisitions and a lot of things. That's for the first 100 days in office. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Princess. So you have a question here. It says, this is for Senator Princess. How would you manage pressure from friends, supporters, and political allies who expect special treatment after after helping your campaign?
Um, Being in office entails a lot of pressure. We all know that, and it's something I've gotten used to over time, because I've been in positions or in yes, I've been in positions where a lot of things happen and I feel pressurized. But the first thing first is to make sure you calm. For me, I calm down to understand the point of view where everybody is coming from, and then speak with them, because I believe so much in speaking to people. So I'll speak to them, communicate to them, have a dialogue where we all sit and understand ourselves better. Okay, I'm in office and this is for this. We have to make sure that this is taken care of first before we look out for whatever that is coming. So when the pressure comes, we will still know how to handle it within ourselves without letting it out, or other people or third parties coming in place. So yeah, thank you.
All right, we have a question for Hosanna. It says, if you discover that certain students' demands are emotionally driven but practically unrealistic, how would you communicate the truth without appearing insensitive or disconnected?
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. First of all, I believe solidly in the power of dialogue. So we'll call for dialogue. I'll try to calm them down, make them feel comfortable around me. With the help of the executive council, we will talk to them, give them reasons as to why what they are saying or what they are demanding is very unrealistic and why we cannot do that. Make them see reasons. I believe that Malabites and Malabreses passing through the university are students that have high knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and I believe that they will see reasons with us.
All right, thank you very much. 0809 I'll take that again. 0809 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Now we have a question for Senator Pascaline. It says, the office of the Vice President requires influence without necessarily having the final authority. How would you effectively shape decisions within the administration without creating power struggles or appearing politically ambitious?
Okay, that's a very wonderful question, and we have a guideline we follow in the University of Calabar, and the guideline is the Constitution. And as stated in the Constitution, every executive officer have their duty to do, so you don't have to clash with every or any other person's own. Okay, and I'll make sure I'll follow my constitutional duties without meddling into anybody's affair, whether the president or other executive. So when I follow my constitutional duties, you don't see me coming into anybody's own.
All right, amazing. This one is from Francisca, and it goes to Comrade Princess. And Francisca says, if students complain that nothing is changing under your administration, what would you tell them?
Okay, first of all, I would like you to calm your nerves down and know that there will be no complaints like that. And if there is, which I doubt, I will only tell them to calm down. Let's say maybe just eat out of it, or it's just starting. But I don't see that being a, how would I put it? I don't see that coming in place in my administration. So there will be no such thing as the, or as there is no change in government.
All right, 0809 44444058. I'll take that again, 0809 44444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. Now, Hosanna, as you, or if you become the vice president of the Student Union Government University of Calabar, okay, let me hold that thought first and let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Amaka from Kansas.
Okay, Amaka, talk to us.
Okay, this question is directly to the mother of the union, that's Senator Princess. Okay. The question is this: if the president is absent for a long period of time, is she fully prepared to serve? And another question is this: if elected, what would be your first message to the student community? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Amaka, for calling. To enjoy the rest of your day. Princess, you have the floor. She said, when the president is not around, can you step in and, hold it down for the president? And when you become president, what is going to be your first message to all the Malabites and Malabreses listening?
Okay, as much as we are not praying for the president to not be available, but we still have to prepare in if it comes up that he's not available. So in a situation whereby the president is not available and I have to step in, I will do that with all my heart, because I know that even in our various families, we see a situation whereby maybe the father is no longer in play and the mother serves as both the mother and the father. So it's not going to be a new thing for us women, because it's something we've already gotten used to. So it's going to be, it's going to be a smooth sell for everybody, because the same way our mothers make us not to really feel the absence of our fathers, that's the same way it's going to be. Nobody will even feel or notice the absence of the president. And so what was the second question?
The second question she asked was, okay, aside the president, she asked about sorry. Okay, her first message, yes, her first message when you become the president or vice president rather of the student union government. What would be your first message to students, Malabites and Malabreses?
My my first message to Malabites and Malabreses is to encourage them to stay calm, as the mother of the union has come, and they'll enjoy what it means on get to see what it feels like to have a true mother as the vice president.
All right, amazing. And now this question goes to all of you. Now, when you become vice president rather, and you've served your tenure successfully, what would you want to be remembered for? What would you like Pascaline to be remembered for? What would you like Hosanna to be remembered for? What would you like Princess to be remembered for in the university community? Let me start with you, Pascaline.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that question. Pascaline or Senator Pascaline will be remembered for being an innovative leader. She'll be remembered for the vice president that carried her students along. She'll be remembered for I'll be remembered for my legacy because we have a lot of things in stock for the students that when we start unleashing them, they will be so excited that they elected me as the vice president student union government, and they will never forget me in a hurry because of the impact I'm coming to impact in their life academically and otherwise. They will know that they have a mother figure as the vice president that they will never forget in a hurry. Thank you very much.
All right, how about you, Hosanna?
Okay, after my tenure, if I made as the vice president, I'll remembered for as commissioner for happiness, because Malabites and Malabrites will have happiness for the rest of their life after my tenure. I'm a leader that have higher standards. I will introduce higher standards of leadership. I will show them that I have the students at heart, and I will give them happiness all around. I will do more than just my constitutional duties by innovating, by introducing new initiatives that will help their life, and that my successors would like to take over from. I will be somebody that created a legacy that other people took from.
Amazing. How about you, Princess? What would you like to be remembered for when you're done with your tenure as the Vice President, Student Union Government, University of Calabar?
Very simple. I'll be remembered for being a virtuous leader because I believe so much in virtuous leadership. A leader that have proven and showed to them that the the office of the vice president can be functional aside Students Week, and also a leader that have proven that accountability, integrity, and service are not just campaign words, but they are daily standards of living. So they'll remember that they have a virtuous leader. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that one. We have a question here for Hosanna, and it says, "You said you have been vice president. Please, can you tell us your outstanding track record of what you achieved then, and using percentage, how well did you work?"
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful question. Let me start from the second phrase. Using percentage, I worked 99%. The other 1% is for God. Then, secondly, when I was vice president, I hosted a 4 days health week, which has never happened before in the history of medical laboratory science. I did the first ever bonfire night where students came to open path. We gave them free suya. We hosted the theme of my health week was human papilloma virus, the invisible invader. Many students did not know that there was a virus called human papilloma virus. I made them know about it, taught them, and made them know how to avoid and prevent human papilloma virus. Then I did first aid training for med lab students. If you come to med lab now, everybody is a first aider. If you have injury in front of med lab, you are free. They will just come and take care of you ASAP, ASAP. So I kept a legacy that I wish to continue to the student union government level.
All right, we have one question here, and this is going to be our final question from the audience. It now says, "Question to all the candidates. If you were in some way not fulfilling the promises you've laid out, how are the students to hold you accountable?" Accountability is very, very important in leadership. So please, you have the floor. Anybody can go first.
Please come again.
It says, "If you were in some way not fulfilling the promises that you've laid out, how are the students to hold you accountable?"
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful question. As a leader that plans to do more, I'm not afraid of being accountable. So there is the Senate. The students can write a petition and tell them that I promised them this and I did not do it, and the Senate should hold me accountable.
That's amazing. How about you, Pascaline?
Okay, my word is my bond as a person, and whatever I say is what I know that I can do in my capacity. And just like she said, we have the Senate, we have the judiciary that they can take their complaint to, and I believe they will take it up. That if the judiciary and the Senate they are not handling it very well, they can take it to the Dean of Student Affairs, which is direct link to us in the management, and everything will be sorted out. But I will make sure that everything I've said is what I know and what I will do in my capacity if being elected as a vice president. Thank you.
All right, how about you, Princess? Let's hear from you.
First of all, I like to say that the power of a king is in his words, and I'm princess. So the power I have are in my words, and I'm giving you my words today that there will be no such thing as that. But if there is, first of all, I'll like, because I'll be open for everyone as the mother of the union. I'll be open for everyone to reach out to. So first of all, I'll like anybody that feels like, okay, you said you do this and you're yet to do it. You first of all reach out to me and tell me, oh, Mama, look at what's going on. Ooh, you promised us this, we're not seeing it. And I'll now tell you or the plans we have towards that, or enlighten you, or even call me to order, because I'm here to listen as well, because a good leader listens to the followers. So I'll first of all pay attention. Then when you now see that the complaint you're laying to me directly, because it's my misbehavior, so you call it out on me first, and then if it's not proving or if it's not yielding results, before you can write a petition to the Senate or to the student affairs. But first, come to me and take it out on me, then I'll explain better for you to understand that if there is an explanation for it. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
okay, we have one last question. This question is very important. This is directed to Hosanna. This is from Right Honorable Derek. It says, how many students can realistically benefit from these palliatives within 100 days, and what criteria will be used for selection? You spoke about the examination criteria, examination palliative. Now, how many students will realistically benefit from this palliative, and what is the mode or criteria for selection?
Okay, there's no necessary mode or criteria for selection because it's something for all students. So I write to the management, to the general population of the university, and it depends on whatever that is being disbursed for that particular initiative. If it is being is if the disbursement is enough for every student, each and every student will benefit. But if it's not enough, then when we come to the class, we'll just give it out at random. Anybody that benefits will benefit, but we'll make sure that we reach a large number of students in the university community. And the mode for selection, there's no particular mode, but we are going to make sure that we touch all nook and crannies of the University of Calabar, the science students, the art, the social students, and everywhere. So it will be by faculty. In each of the faculties, we'll go different faculties to distribute the exam palliative.
All right, thank you very much, Hosanna. Thank you very much, Pascaline. Thank you very much, Princess. You guys have said your minds, and it's left for the Malabites and Malabrites to decide who their next vice president will be. But before we draw the curtains and call it a day, what final words would you say to Malabites and Malabrites listening to you right now? I'll start with you, Pascaline.
Okay, before we go off, I would like to remind you all that at the Bridge Coalition, we believe leadership is not really about the title. We believe leadership is accountability. We believe leadership is being student oriented. We believe leadership is about being student innovative. We believe that leadership is about being there for the students whenever they need you. We believe leadership is about caring for the students. And I, for once, am a student-oriented leader. And if being elected, I want to tell Malabrites and Malabrites that are listening to me, you won't regret it for once, because I'm very accessible. I'm easy to reach. I'm easy to talk to, and I'm one you can actually confide in with anything that is your challenging, whether academically, financially, and otherwise. And I'll actually come to your aid. Thank you very much. We, the Bridge Coalition, we love you all. Bye.
All right, how about you, Hosanna? What are your last words to Malabites, Malabrites listening to you right now?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that's out there listening to me today. It's indeed an opportunity to be on this platform to want to represent Malabites and Malabrises. And I want to tell them a brief story about the H Factor movement. My name is Israel Hosanna Chinemema, the pioneer of the H Factor movement, a movement that believes in higher standards of leadership, a movement that have the heart of students, a movement that we promise to give each and every Malabite and Malabrites happiness throughout my tenure. So I want to solicit and beg that you should choose the leader that will have you at heart, leader that will take your concerns very rightly to the management that we advocate for you, and also want to tell you that you should vote Comrade Israel Uzana for SUG Vice President. Thank you so much.
All right. How about you, Princess? What are your last words to Malabites, Malabres listening off and on campus?
First of all, I'd like to appreciate each and every one of you out there listening to us. It is really a privilege that God made it possible for us to be here today. It's not by our might, not by our power, but by the mercies of God. So, and secondly, I would like you all to note that the Virtuous Movement is here, where Senator Princess Chidimoye Kachi, is the convener of the Virtuous Movement, and we believe that accountability, service, and integrity are not just campaign words, rather they are daily standards. So I'll urge you all to enter the chariot so we'll take a royal ride together. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Princess. Thank you very much, Hosanna. Thank you very much, Pascaline, for coming and talking to us this afternoon. Malabites and Malabrites, you've heard it from the presidential aspirant and of course the vice presidential aspirant. The choice is yours at the end of the day to choose who you want to represent you at the student union level. My name is Vine Henshaw and I'm signing out right now. Remember that there are other amazing programs coming your way right here on Unical 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it Edu Infotainment. I'll leave in the hands of Faceless and Serotonin. This one says Venus. Good afternoon.